Hello and welcome to Getting Candid with me, your girl Helen. Today, as you can see, I'm in this cute space. I think this space is very cute. It smells right. The colors are beautiful. And I'm in TinTin. It's Tinted Beauty Stores, owned by our very own Christina, popularly known as TinTin to all of you, the model, entrepreneur, and I have so much to learn from her. I think we're going to learn from her as well. But she's so inspirational. I feel like a lot of you need to know if you didn't know about her. This is a time for you to get to know about her. Join me on the other side. Welcome back. So I mentioned I'll be chatting with Christina, aka TinTin, and we are at her Tinted Stores. How are you?
I'm good. Wow, what an introduction. I feel so flattered. Thank you.
Really? No, you deserve all those titles.
Thank you.
I'm
good, thanks. How are you?
Great. I love your space. It's so cute.
It's very aesthetically pleasing, right?
Yes,
thank you. Very
yes.
calming. Thank you.
And I imagine everything that is in this store makes you just feel that.
Very relaxed. Sometimes when I'm having a hard day, I just come and sit here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, the colors are very relaxing, very feng shui. We were very deliberate with light and shapes and colors and patterns.
Yeah.
But we'll speak more about that.
Yes, please. So for me, it's like you were known, like, it's a model. She's a model, TinTin the model. When did you start modeling professionally?
2012. 2012, yeah, I did my first beauty pageant. It's a very funny story, actually. I had no interest in modeling at all. I grew up around a lot of boys, my brothers.
So you're the only girl?
I'm the oldest girl.
Okay.
And then all my other siblings, there's very significant age gap. So I always thought, modeling is very vain. People who are models, the stereotypes, you know what I mean? And then one day, somebody was like, start modeling, and I gave it a shot, and it's been up from there. But I was thrown into the deep end. So when I just started, my very first thing was I represented Zambia in Egypt at Top Model of the World.
Are you telling me that was like your first?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, with no pageantry experience, no modeling experience. A lady saw me on Facebook. She's like, I think you're gorgeous. I think you do well. Go to Egypt and represent Zambia. And safe to say, I was the first Zambian to ever place. I made top 10. I made top 7, actually. I was the only African that year to place, and the first Zambian to place. So it was a wake-up call. I was like, you know what? If I can do this with little to no experience, what more when I have some sort of
How are you
training?
maneuvering through coming from no experience to competing with people that have experience, obviously?
A very tough industry. I think after I did that pageant, I was like, you know what? Maybe pageantry isn't for me. Let me do high fashion. And so I focused on like runways and editorials and adverts and things like that. But the internet has everything, Helen.
Yeah.
Literally, you have a question, just go to Google and be like, how do I do this and how do I do that? But I think if you're passionate about anything, you put in the effort to learn. Yeah.
How did you know that pageantry is not for me? Because I was actually going to ask why I haven't seen you do a lot of pageants. I've just seen you like you're walking the runway in different.
I just I don't think it's gonna sound terrible. I just don't think I'm a beauty queen.
Okay.
Yes, I think I'm more high fashion. I think even my facial features, even back then, you'd be like, okay, you know what, we could use her to promote a brand or to promote makeup. She would look good with short hair or with a bald head. Beauty queens are very prim and proper, and they don't even sit like this. They sit, they sit like that. And I just said, I don't think I can do that for the rest of my life.
And I thought all models, are very girly, like they are very perfect like that. I thought it was all models. I didn't know that that's applies more to the beauty
pageantry. Yeah, I think high fashion allows you to have more of a personality. Yes, I think. Not to say that beauty queens don't have personality, but you have to be very prim and proper all the time. Whereas the field that I took, you could just be authentically yourself.
Nice. But your mother is a pastor, right?
Yes.
So how was it? Did she ever Was she hesitant having you to join the industry? Because sometimes it's not even about her, it's about the other people she goes to church
Yeah,
with.
of course.
Yeah.
I remember, I remember this one time. This actually made me stop going to church for a while. I remember there was one time I had a photo shoot, and it was very risque, right? So it looked like I was naked, but I really wasn't. I had the underwear and the bra, but the way I had sat and positioned myself, you know, and those photos made it to my church.
Sure.
And they had an intervention for me, and everybody was like, your mom's a pastor, why would you do this? And she was also like, you know what, maybe it's not the right country for this. I understand the message you're trying to deliver, but maybe it's not the right country. She's been very supportive. She used to model also in her younger days.
Oh, at least she understands
Yes,
it.
so she understands it. Where I had a bit of a problem was with my dad. You know, he's very traditional Zambian African man, but my mom was very open about it. And I feel like she trusted that she had raised me well enough to let me explore that part of my life and not get drawn to the other side, because there's two sides of every story. And it's a very, if you don't have a moral backbone, it's an industry that could suck the Jesus out of you.
How did you manage to stay focused? Because you're human, and then you started young, so you're still exploring, you're still finding yourself. Did you find yourself at some point falling, and how did you get back, or if you just managed to just stay straight on the path?
Helen, me, a human being straight on the path? No, I have fallen many times, but you get up, you learn, you dust yourself, you forgive yourself, and you learn. You know, everybody says you don't really know what you're getting into until you get into it. And I just had a vague picture of the modeling industry. And then when I was in the modeling industry, I said, well damn, this happens for real. This is not in the movies, you know? And yeah, there's certain things that I did. Do I regret it? No. Because even if I'm saying that I've fallen, I don't think I've ever done anything so horrible and drastic and nasty, yeah. But there's some things where you're like, oh, if my mom found out about this, you know?
I mean,
yeah, sometimes I acted out of character. You know, you're trying to fit in, you're trying to get gigs. So yeah, I did a lot of falling. But you know what? The grace of God is sufficient. And if He can forgive me, I can forgive myself. So
how do you manage to forgive yourself? For me personally, I struggle with forgiving myself. Like it takes long when I do something and I keep beating myself. Yeah, the guilt is like horrible. How do you manage to get yourself back and say, you know what, I'm a human being, I've messed up, let's move on?
It's hard. I think for me, it's something that I've learned over the years. It's, you just speak to yourself in the mirror and you be like, you know what, I'm deserving of forgiveness. I'm a human being. I deserve to be forgiven because God has forgiven me. I deserve to be loved because God loves me. I deserve grace because God has shown me grace. So a lot of times we find it easier to forgive other people, but why can't you extend the same grace to yourself? Yeah. So it's just about speaking to yourself and having conversations. And then words. Words are very powerful. Words are spells that you're casting into the universe. So just speak kindly about yourself. You know what, Christina? What you did was out of character, but you made a mistake. Have you learned from it? Do you regret it? I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive you. I forgive myself. And before you know it, it's an afterthought, what you did, yeah.
Some years back, I read, was it in a magazine, some social media post where they were talking about how you opened about a mental, like you were struggling with mental health. Can you just tell us about that? What happened?
I can't even remember which, because I've had multiple mental breakdowns. I don't even remember what the magazine was referencing. I would like to just speak about mental health briefly. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. I think I'm happy that Zambians now are starting to call it for what it is. And people are open about it. And there's no shame in having mental health issues. Before, there used to be a lot of stigma around it, but now we have more advocates speaking about it. And I wish the first 3-4 mental breakdowns that I had somebody that would be like, you know what, you're fine. This is happening because your cup is full and you've just been, it's overflowing now. This is happening because you've got unhealed childhood trauma or trauma with an ex-boyfriend, whatever it is, you know, family, growing up, all those things. We need to do like a a deep dive. I think everybody needs to take a sit back and say, what's going on in my life? Before your mind tells you what's going on in your life. A mental breakdown is just basically you've been hiding things and covering things and masking things, and then one day you just snap. And snapping doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't manifest the same for everybody. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm gonna start screaming and yelling, or I'm gonna walk naked in the road. Sometimes you become a recluse. Sometimes you just wanna stay in bed. Sometimes you don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel so drained and you have no motivation to do anything. And yeah, sometimes you do go crazy, literally.
Yeah.
But sometimes also you just start acting out of character. When I know that my mental health needs to be checked, I'm just like, okay, I want to keep myself busy so that I'm distracted from the real issue. So then I'll start attending more events, or I'll go out more, or I'll always find myself finding a reason to drink or to be with friends or to just be where there's noise so that I'm not left alone with my thoughts. And so I don't remember what particularly led to that particular mental breakdown that you read about, but I've had several. And I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I'm in a better space now.
Yeah.
I know what triggers me. I know when I'm starting to feel a bit off, like, Tina, take a step back, take a day off, rest, read your Bible, pray, say your manifestations, whatever works for you. Yeah.
What do you think it is that in this industry, you're saying you take a step back? So for some people, I feel like it takes long to deal with whatever is going on, because taking a step back, sometimes they'll be like, you'll be replaced in the industry. Come on, you don't need to. It's fast-paced industry. How do you manage to convince yourself to say, I can take a break and still come and maybe even do better when I take that break?
That's so funny. For me, I'm so grateful to my fans, okay? I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've had. If it wasn't for the career path that I chose, I wouldn't have social media.
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook because there's so many triggers on Facebook, and I know myself. I know my capacity. I know what would break me. Even if people say, don't mind what people say, haters say, everybody's going to have an opinion whether you're doing good or bad. That's very true. But sometimes you can save yourself the trauma.
You're human.
You're a human being. You can protect your space. And even me getting off Facebook was protecting my space, because I would post something modeling related, and somebody has woken up in a bad mood from Northern Province who I don't even know, and is gonna start commenting nonsense on my picture. But they're using their Facebook, they're using their bundles. So who am I to then say, don't say rubbish on my post? You know what I mean? And so I just said, let me go to Instagram where I just post and go.
It's peaceful.
It's peaceful. I don't have to interact with people as much as Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is. Grateful for my career. I don't think in my next life I want to do it again.
What would you do?
I don't know. I'd probably just be like a housewife. I think I want to be a housewife and live on a farm and grow like Nara Smith minus the working. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I want to raise a family and grow chickens. And
I felt like that last year, and I would joke with my husband like, okay, he thought I was joking, but I was serious because I was frustrated. So I was like, I just want to be a rich housewife. Whereby there's money in my account.
Exactly.
But I'm just taking care of home. I'm not trying to push deals. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just there. It's peaceful.
Even if you have a business, whether it succeeds or not, it's just like,
okay.
I have a rich, wealthy husband to support my failing business. You know what I mean? He's always pumping in the money.
Yeah.
But I think I would want a more slow-paced, restful life, because I feel like I've traveled.
Yeah.
I have walked international runways. I don't even take photos on my camera. And my friend the other day was like, why don't you take? I said, I've taken enough photos in my life. Use my camera and do it. But for me, I've been in, and then I went into TV for a little bit, and then I'm tired.
We're talking about international runways. You have done Firstly Local, you've done Zambian Fashion Week, you've done Paris Fashion Week, Shanghai Fashion Week. How did that feel? Which one was your first international?
Shanghai Fashion Week.
How did that feel?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah?
It was, I'm thinking, I'm having flashbacks. It was amazing. And I got it through a friend, Amy. She was in China at the time. She was studying, I think, design and fashion. And she said, baby girl, there's this happening. You need to be here. And I think also I just need to take a moment to be thankful to God, because he's always placed people in my life that have opened doors for me, or spoken highly for me, or put my name in front of tables. And so Amy had no reason to do that and to push as much as she did for me. But she was like, you know what, you're doing the things there. Come, let's celebrate you here. Oh, it was amazing. I was meant to work for one designer. And then I got there and the other designers were like, me too, work for me also.
Wow.
Me too, work for me also. And I closed for like 3 fashion designers.
You closed for fashion?
I closed.
Wow.
And I closed the entire Shanghai Fashion Week, like the last model on the runway, And you know when you sit back and you're like, whew, this is just good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had no portfolio. They saw me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, like, if you're going to be on social media, use it to your advantage. Clean up your act. You know what? Different things work for different people. But for me, I've always been of the opinion that keep it professional. Yeah. You don't have to post what you cooked for your boyfriend 2 days ago. You don't have to tell everybody what's happening in your life. Yeah. For me, that was my portfolio. Yeah. I never had any photos of family or friends, only now. Yeah. It was strictly professional photos, Helen, not even a selfie. It was in the studio, at a photo shoot, and people saw me from there. Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to tell you this, because when you explained how Shanghai Fashion Week happened for you, sometimes I feel like we're so hard on ourselves that we forget what we have done and what we have achieved. Because I don't think there's any Zambian who's done that. You right now is the only, we don't know the ones that are coming, but so far you're the only one who's done that. And you need to sit back. I hope you do clap for yourself and say, okay, I did this. Because if you didn't do well, maybe if the first time they saw you and they're like, okay, can she do it? And they give you a chance and then you mess up. Yeah. You are not going to close all those shows and closing the main show. So big up to you. How was Paris Fashion Week? Because that's like, for me, when I think Paris, I'm thinking that's the home of fashion.
It was amazing. You know, I always told myself, I always gave myself a certain time frame to model. Because also it's a career that's got a time frame. Yeah. There's going to be somebody younger, slimmer, taller, prettier. My mom always says, my grandma always used to say, sorry, the beautiful ones are not yet born. And the standards of beauty are always changing in this industry. Yeah. So I always told myself, God, I don't know how you're going to do it. But if I do Paris Fashion Week, or Milan Fashion Week, or New York Fashion Week, or London Fashion Week, I gave myself those 4. Yeah. And that's it for me. Yeah. I'm going to then take a seat back and let the upcoming models do what they have to do. Because I think I've given myself in this industry. I've given myself to my country for this industry. Yeah. And so I said, you know what? It's important to know when to stop. And I'm always of the belief that stop when people are still clapping for you. True. You're going to keep trying to push fame and trying to do bigger and trying to make more. And then you're going to have a fall. It's a very sad story how these things are, you know. Always set a limit for yourself. And when you reach that limit, I made an agreement with God. I said, God, I want to do any one of these 4 big fashion shows. Then I know that I've done this for myself. I'm going to tell my kids, your mama did Paris Fashion Week, your mama did Milan Fashion Week. I said just one from these 4. That was my agreement with God. And then after that, I'm going to stop because I'm also tired. I also want to be eating shima, I don't want to be dieting all the time. And then he gave me 2 out of the 4. Yeah. So who am I not to then say thank you and you've done your part, let me also just sit back. And so I said, how am I going to stay in the industry without necessarily having to be on the runway? And I found my other passion, which is beauty. Beauty. Yeah. Skincare, makeup.
Let's start from there. Let's move to, first, between the 2 that you did, which one was your favorite?
How can you ask a parent who's your favorite child? Is that fair? Do you have a favorite? Do you have children?
No, I have 2 children.
Do you have a favorite child?
No.
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
No, but I mean, that was like maybe the experience. Which one gave you the best experience?
Skincare. I started off with
I mean between the fashion weeks.
Oh, between the fashion weeks. Okay, see now I'm too excited about this. Between Milan and Paris. Yeah. And people think Paris is the hub of fashion.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. And then went to Milan. Guys, people dress up to go drink coffee and eat croissants and fur coats, chinchilla. I said, you know when you sit back and you say, I never used to dress up, huh?
Now you learn. You see people that dress up.
You see people that wear art. They don't wear clothes. Sometimes you just wear clothes to cover up. Because you don't want to be naked. You don't want to be exposed. But these people, they wear art. Their clothes tell a story. Their hair tells a story. And that's when even when I came back, I said, I think for me, weaves, for me, I want my hair to tell a story. I want to do braids. I want to be as authentically African and proud as I can be, because they're very proud of their culture. It's very rich. It's very, pressure, Helen. We are going to have lunch and you're like,
what am I going to wear?
I can't just rock up in jeans and a t-shirt.
Really?
You really can't, because also we had gone there during Fashion Week. So everybody was dressed up every day. Every single day. It was a beautiful experience. I would say Milan for me was better. Also I think in Paris I did experience certain undertones of racism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was very subtle, but you could tell. But in Milan it was very
peaceful,
very chilled.
Nice.
Much nicer, yeah.
Now let's come to this.
Let's come here.
We first had, was it the lipstick? Was it the first?
It was a lipstick, yes.
The lipstick. How did you have the courage first to start with, to say, I'm going to launch my own beauty line?
Aside from, it stemmed from frustration. Because you do all these shows, international shows, and they don't know how to do makeup on
dark skin, yes.
On dark skin. So all my other modeling colleagues would be gorgeous on the runway, and then I end up looking a bit gray or ashy. And even now that I think about it, I don't have a lot of photos from the international shows, because I'm like, this is not how my skin looks. This is not what I look like when I do makeup back home. So it stemmed from frustration. And I didn't have a big range. I think I started off with like 50 lipsticks, Helen. It's all I could afford at the time, because it's quite expensive. Especially when you're talking about an authentic brand, because anybody can go to AliExpress or Alibaba and say, give me this lipstick, slap my name on it, and then it's my brand. But if you're doing things correctly and you're involved in the process and all of that, it's quite an expensive process. So I started off with 50 lipsticks. I had 5 shades of lipstick, so I just did 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I said, you know what, let's see what happens. And they sold out quickly. And then I was like, okay, let's do 200 lipsticks. 200, just like that. Let's do 500 lipsticks. And they sold.
It started growing.
It started growing. And then we said, okay, you know what? Let's do something else. Eyeshadow. We did the 3 types of eyeshadow. They were named after all of my siblings, all the names at the back.
Nice.
And then we did a foundation, and then we did a powder, and then we did a what, and then now we have 13 products.
Wow.
Under the makeup line, and 7 products under the skincare line.
Wow.
From 5 lipsticks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. When I saw this launch, I was like, wow, this is for me, this is what I like to see. You watch the Kardashians launching these things, branded, whatever, you see Beyonce launching. But when you see somebody local, because you relate to it, like for me, I'm always like, let's support local brands. Because I know that for you to start exporting one day, Christina, I have to be able to use your brand.
Exactly.
But how do you use your brand? I also want to see that it's authentic. This looks very beautiful, the packaging.
How
did you pick the design? Because I love this is literally something that you want to keep in a home after it's done. You're like, let's just decorate it.
I have a lot of people saying, we're not going to throw away the packages because they're so pretty. But what are you going to do with an empty one?
Because when it comes, somebody will probably think it's a scent or something.
Perfume or something.
Yeah, like I'll just keep it.
You know the good thing?
Yeah.
It's glass. So what we're trying to promote is reducing, reusing, and recycling. So when you're done with the product, bring it back, and then you get a 15% discount on your next purchase.
Oh,
of the
nice.
Same product. So that way you always have a beautiful bottle in your home.
I don't have to throw it.
You don't have to throw it away, and then I can keep it, and then we recycle the bottles and we reuse them.
I like.
Yes.
I like. Just tell us about the line.
So we've got 7 products plus my original baby. A Roshia butter from Ghana.
That was your first?
This was my first. When I said, okay, how do we move from makeup to skincare.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to do this at the time. And so I went to Ghana and I got myself some shea butter and we came and we repackaged it. We mixed it up with some essential oils, jojoba, aloe vera, coconut oil, but then we also have the raw and processed one. There's some people who've got different sensitive skin. So we have one that's scented and fragrance, and then we have a plain raw one. This is what I started with, Helen. 150 kwacha per carton of shea butter.
Yeah.
But I always knew that I wanted something bigger for myself. I wanted something bigger for my brand. I'm always of the belief that if you can use L'Oreal, you can use Fenty, you can use Kim K Beauty here, then they're going to know about my brand in the UK, they're going to know about my brand in Europe, they're going to know about my brand all over Africa.
Amen.
And so even when we were picking the shapes and the colors and the packaging, I always said to myself, I want to give Zambians a luxury brand that they can afford. The most expensive product we have is 300 kwacha.
Yeah.
But when you look at the packaging...
I remember when I was asking, I was like, how much? I was waiting to hear 1,000.
You know, sometimes I have people walk past the shop, back and forth, and then they'll just say, you know what, let me just come in and ask. What do you sell and what is it and what's the price? And then I'll tell them the price and they're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
300 kwacha. My vitamin C serum is 180 kwacha.
Yeah.
But we make our products in Turkey. My store is at a hotel. But I'm not going to tax my customers and say, I'm putting it in the price of the bottle. No.
Yeah.
I want to give people an experience. Everybody deserves a piece of luxury. Everybody deserves to feel good. Everybody deserves a chance at having great skin and great makeup without having to steal or break your bank or whatever it is. So we've got 8 products. We have the shea butter that I started with.
Yeah.
We have everything you need from start to finish. We have a cleanser, which is at the top there. That's like a face wash. I always tell people, don't use bar soap for your face. It's very drying.
Yeah,
it's going to dry your skin, and then now you have breakouts, and then now you have more issues to deal with. Use a gentle cleanser, which we have.
I hope you're learning, guys.
And then after a cleanser, we have, this is one of my favorite products. I know we don't have favorites. Yeah. But it's a toner. And it's also an essence. So you wash your face, and then on your cotton pad you spray some toner to remove any extra dirt, because sometimes the cleanser doesn't take it all off. It's also a great makeup remover, but it's also an essence. So like now, I'm starting to feel like my skin is getting a little bit dry. I always move with one in my bag. I'm just gonna do a little sample.
Please do that.
And so when you start feeling like your skin is getting a little dry, I just go in with my essence, and it's
cool. I like how your skin is glowing. Like it's clean and it doesn't need makeup.
No. I stopped wearing makeup, Helen. Yeah? Even to go out, to go to functions, I stopped because I'm just, my skin looks good. So I'm just so confident. Yes, I don't need all of that. Yes, sometimes I want to dress up and, you know, play around with makeup. Back then, I had to wear makeup because I had breakouts, and then also because being in the industry, I'm wearing makeup every day for years and years and years. I had terrible skin at one point.
That's what I say, that messes up your skin.
Yes, and then now you've got terrible skin, what do? You wear more makeup to cover your terrible skin. But now, I wake up, I do my skincare, I move around with my toner, I'm happy.
So after the toner, where do we go?
So after you tone your face, you now use any of the 4 serums. So we've got a hyaluronic acid serum, we've got a retinol serum, we've got a vitamin C serum, and we've got a salicylic acid serum.
What are the differences?
Okay, so sometimes you notice that even foundation, right? You've got a winter shade and a summer shade.
You're teaching me. I just buy foundation.
You just buy foundation. Haven't you noticed that sometimes your skin is darker or it's lighter because of sunburn or suntan? So you have to maybe change your foundation shade, going one up or one down. It's never very constant. So there's sun damage done to your skin. Using harsh products. Using men, when I catch you, 7-in-1, shampoo, conditioner, carpet cleaner, everything. You can't have a 7-in-1 product.
I know.
Even just for your face, the skin on your body and the skin on your face is completely different. Yeah. So you can't use the same products you use on your face.
On your body.
No. You can't.
For men. No, they think this is for ladies.
No, men are getting into skincare too, and which is great. So for that, we have a vitamin C serum. So it just brightens your complexion. Yeah. Not lightens. I also want to emphasize that we do not sell bleaching products. We are
Great.
all natural, all authentic. Nothing wrong if you choose to bleach your skin, but at Tinted, we believe in enhancing the beauty that you already possess.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like I've become a bit darker, I'm suntanned, I need my face to be a bit fresher, we have a vitamin C serum. It's also great for pimples, dark spots, blemishes, fine lines, dark under eyes. Those of us who are
Always
working, yes,
Yeah.
vitamin C serum. And then we have a hyaluronic acid serum.
Okay.
So for somebody like me, I have dry skin, especially now we're getting into winter.
Yeah.
This one and the shea butter are going to be my babies. So a hyaluronic acid serum, it's just a hydrating serum.
Okay.
So it's water with aloe vera and essential ceramides, and you just pop it on your skin after your skincare and massage it into your skin. This is what, when you're saying you're glowing, this is what's giving me that glow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
So you can either start with the vitamin C or hyaluronic acid or interchange them, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Then the two serums are to be used only at night. Retinol and salicylic acid.
Okay.
Only at night. And you can't use them together. You use either. Or.
Okay.
Or you can interchange them. Monday I can use the retinol. Thursday I can use the
What are their
salicylic acid.
differences?
Okay. So salicylic acid is people that are for people that are prone to pimples. Especially cystic pimples. You know, there's some pimples that you can't even squeeze. They're just so hard.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, sometimes there are people whose skin tone is not, what's the word for it? Not pimples, almost like depressions. Have you ever seen people who've got skin that it doesn't look rough? It looks rough.
Yes.
Sorry to say. Yeah, salicylic acid. It helps you get smooth texture. That's the word I was looking for. There are people that have got textured skin. So you find over in the nose area it's smooth or whatever it is. Here they look like they've got those little like bumps or depressions or whatever it is. Guys also who have like razor bumps and from shaving, salicylic acid is your go-to bad boy. So it just helps with textured skin. It helps to prevent and fight pimples and acne, razor bumps and all of that. Then retinol. Retinol is something that everybody should have. It's an anti-aging serum.
Okay.
Nobody wants to grow old. Nobody wants to grow old. And then it's not even about growing old necessarily. Sometimes even I have smile lines.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with age. I have smile lines. I have on my eyes when I laugh or smile, I have like lines across there. I used to have, and they were very prominent then. But ever since I started using the retinol, it's helped in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and like, it creates new skin cells. It's called prolification.
Okay.
Yes. So it aids in your skin creating new skin cells faster.
I like.
Yes.
I like.
Yes.
Then after the serum?
So after you do your serums, then we finish off with a moisturizer. Don't use lotion on your face, boys and girls. Don't use lotion on your face. Use a moisturizer. We've got a gentle, look at our packaging.
Your packaging is amazing. Your packaging is amazing.
We've got a gentle moisturizer that you can use for your face to finish off, and then you finish off with a sunscreen. Another thing that I want to let known to the public is that all our products have a barcode at the back that you can scan on your phone, and it's going to take you directly to our website. And then on the website, you have a list of all the ingredients that we used in the product.
Okay.
And then you have a product description. So if you're not sure what you need or how to use the product, you scan the barcode. It's going to tell you use at night only, use 2 times a day for best effects, use if you've got dry skin, and all of that. We wanted to keep the packaging as clean as possible. So we just have the brand name, product name, and the meals.
So
and then
the
at the
details
back,
you can scan.
You can scan for more
Nice.
information. Yes.
For somebody who is not in Lusaka, how do they get to purchase?
Hey, we deliver money. Helen, where there's money? Even me, I can walk and start off delivering to you. We use Mercury.
Okay.
We use Mercury to deliver all over Zambia, and then we use DHL to take outside of the country. So we do countrywide delivery and worldwide delivery.
Nice.
Yes.
I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I can't wait to see you grow. I can't wait to see you open stores all over the country and outside the country.
From your lips to God's ears.
Amen. We're definitely going that direction. Now, you studied law. Did you ever practice?
No. Do I have interest in practicing? No.
But how has that helped you? Because I mean, the knowledge obviously hasn't just gone to waste.
Of course. Now a simple contract I can draft.
Yeah.
It helped me boost my confidence. I can go to somebody, speak in a meeting and say, I want investment for my product. You know, it's helped me with drafting letters, drafting there's a lot I've learned that I'm putting to use without necessarily having to step into a court.
Yeah.
Even the legal aspect, there's a lot of legal aspect that goes into this. There's a lot of boxes you need to tick. And I learned that from law. We do have, as a company, we do have a company lawyer, yes, but certain things that I'm just like, even you can do this, even you can draft this contract. And you know, when we started off in Northmead, I'll draft contracts for my employees. I'll be like, you know, when I'm reading a contract, even when I was modeling, and people would be like, sign the contract. I always knew from law that always read the fine print because they're always going to sneak something in there that's going to, you know, throw you off. We did contract law, it's helped. We did insurance law, or I didn't. I don't know why I'm talking in third party. Me and the Holy Spirit. I did it for my parents.
Yeah.
You know, African parents have a thing of, you have to be a lawyer,
doctor, engineer,
and then so it was sort of to be like, you know what, Amano Nalikwata is the paper, the evidence. Thank you so much. Now let me do what I want to do. And I think I've been blessed enough to have parents that allowed me to do that. Yeah.
No, congratulations, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll definitely be trying your products.
Please. Yes. We are at Best Western Hotel, shop number 1. We are open every day. Every day, Monday to Friday, we are open 9 to 19:30. 19:30.
Wow.
And then Saturday, we are open from 10 to 17. Okay. And then Sunday, we are open from 12 to 16.
Cool. So you've heard, guys, let's support Zambian, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We hope to see, we don't know what's coming next, because I obviously know this is not the last thing that
big plans.
Yeah.
Pray for me. Big plans.
This has been your girl Helen. You're joining us from Best Western Plus Hotel, and we have been chatting with Christina. Come and visit the store so that you can see for yourself. All right, bye-bye.